As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. By the time we see that climate change is really bad, your ability to fix it is extremely limited. The carbon gets up there, but the heating effect is delayed, and then the effect of that heat on the species and ecosystem is delayed. That means that even when you turn virtuous, things are actually going to get worse for quite a while. Climate change is a terrible problem, and it absolutely needs to be solved. It deserves to be a huge priority. Digital technology has several features that can make it much easier for teachers to pay special attention to all their students. Discrimination has a lot of layers that make it tough for minorities to get a leg up. Drones overall will be more impactful than I think people recognize in positive ways to help society. Effective philanthropy requires a lot of time and creativity, the same kind of focus and skills that building a business requires. Everyone needs a coach. It doesn't matter whether you're a basketball player, a tennis player, a gymnast, or a bridge player. Exposure from a young age to the realities of the world is a super big thing. Governments will always play a huge part in solving big problems. They set public policy and are uniquely able to provide the resources to make sure solutions reach everyone who needs them. They also fund basic research, which is a crucial component of the innovation that improves life for everyone. Historically, privacy was almost implicit because it was hard to find and gather information. But in the digital world, whether it's digital cameras or satellites or just what you click on, we need to have more explicit rules, not just for governments, but for private companies. I believe in innovation and that the way you get innovation is you fund research and you learn the basic facts. I believe that if you show people the problems and you show them the solutions, they will be moved to act. I don't think there's anything unique about human intelligence. I have been struck again and again by how important measurement is to improving the human condition. I never took a day off in my 20s, not one, and I'm still fanatical. But now I'm a little less fanatical. I really had a lot of dreams when I was a kid, and I think a great deal of that grew out of the fact that I had a chance to read a lot. I think it makes sense to believe in God, but exactly what decision in your life you make differently because of it, I don't know. I think it's fair to say that personal computers have become the most empowering tool we've ever created. They're tools of communication, they're tools of creation, they're tools of creativity, and they can be shaped by their user. I'm a great believer that any tool that enhances communication has profound effects in terms of how people can learn from each other and how they can achieve the kind of freedoms that they're interested in. If you can't make it good, at least make it look good. If you're using first-class land for biofuels, then you're competing with the growing of food. And so you're actually spiking food prices by moving energy production into agriculture. In business, the idea of measuring what you are doing, picking the measurements that count like customer satisfaction and performance. You thrive on that? In the long run, your human capital is your main base of competition. Your leading indicator of where you're going to be 20 years from now is how well you're doing in your education system. Information technology and business are becoming inextricably interwoven. I don't think anybody can talk meaningfully about one without talking about the other. Innovation is moving at a scarily fast pace. Intellectual property has the shelf life of a banana. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure. Just in terms of allocation of time resources, religion is not very efficient. There's a lot more I could be doing on a Sunday morning. Legacy is a stupid thing. I don't want a legacy. Microsoft is not about greed. It's about innovation and fairness. Money has no utility to me beyond a certain point. Nuclear energy, in terms of an overall safety record, is better than other energy. On my desk, I have 3 screens, synchronized to form a single desktop. I can drag items from one screen to the next. Once you have that large display area, you'll never go back because it has a direct impact on productivity. People always fear change. People feared electricity when it was invented, didn't they? People feared coal. They feared gas, powered engines. There will always be ignorance, and ignorance leads to fear. But with time, people will come to accept their silicon masters. People everywhere love Windows. Security is, I would say, our top priority because for all the exciting things you will be able to do with computers, organizing your lives, staying in touch with people, being creative, if we don't solve these security problems, then people will hold back. Software is a great combination between artistry and engineering. Some people, through luck and skill, end up with a lot of assets. If you're good at kicking a ball, writing software, investing in stocks, it pays extremely well. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. Technology is just a tool. In terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important. The internet is becoming the town square for the global village of tomorrow. The advance of technology is based on making it fit in so that you don't really even notice it, so it's part of everyday life. The first rule of any technology used in a business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. The future of advertising is the internet. The intersection of law, politics, and technology is going to force a lot of good thinking. The way to be successful in the software world is to come up with breakthrough software, and so whether it's Microsoft Office or Windows, it's pushing that forward. New ideas, surprising the marketplace. So good engineering and good business are one and the same. There are more people dying of malaria than any specific cancer. There are people who don't like capitalism and people who don't like C's, but there's no one who likes the C who doesn't like Microsoft. Treatment without prevention is simply unsustainable. Until we're educating every kid in a fantastic way, until every inner city is cleaned up, there is no shortage of things to do. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. We always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years and underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10. Don't let yourself be lulled into inaction. We make the future sustainable when we invest in the poor, not when we insist on their suffering. We've got to put a lot of money into changing behavior. When I was growing up, my parents were almost involved in various volunteer things. My dad was head of Planned Parenthood, and it was very controversial to be involved with that. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning.